Hello, hello. Welcome to the Awful and Awesome episode number 311. My name is Abbas.
And I'm Nainika.
And as always, as my line goes, when the guards are away, the inmates will play. So that line has become almost as familiar to this as pay to keep news free.
Yes.
So I think
Abbas is
should
clearly
officially
marking his footprint on this podcast. So,
Yes. So this week on the Awful and Awesome...
No, I must ask before we start, do you have a catchphrase, Abbas?
Do I have a catchphrase? It's not a catchphrase, but it's a phrase I say probably the most on a given day. I just say, not today.
Oh, fair. And what do you say, not today?
Do you have one? So on today's episode, we're going to be discussing a bunch of things. We'll discuss two new movies. One of them is a blockbuster that's still playing in theaters. That's the 7th Mission Impossible film. We'll also be discussing a film that has got a lot of critical acclaim called Past Lives. And two new web series. One of them is the official adaptation of The Good Wife called The Trial, starring Kajol, which is on Hotstar. And a series I particularly enjoyed a lot called Kohrra, which is on Netflix. And if time allows us, we will talk about the Emmy nominations as well. But before we begin all of that, I would really like to thank all of our listeners and viewers, the News Laundry listeners and viewers, for topping up our NL Sena project for Manipur. We're extremely grateful for your support. Please subscribe to News Laundry by going to the links shown on your screen or by clicking the links in the description, and continue to support independent journalism. Now more than ever, I think is the need of the hour for independent journalism, and please support us. But Nainika, what's your relationship with Mission Impossible? Have you seen all the previous ones? Do you like Tom Cruise? Have you liked this franchise? What's happening?
So have I watched all of them? No, like bits and parts. I think a lot of the earlier Mission Impossible movies are now available on streaming, so I've caught them, but I don't think it's like as magical on streaming or like on your laptop screen as it would be in the theater. I watched the one that came out in 2018 with Henry Cavill in it. Which one was it?
That
Fallout?
was the last one, Fallout. Mission Impossible Fallout.
I loved Fallout. Like, I am insane about Fallout. I just periodically just watch like half an hour of it randomly, like once a month.
You just watch Henry Cavill doing his boxing things on loop for half
I have a reputation here. I have a reputation, but I will be honest, it's objectively a good movie. Yes, Henry Cavill looks good. Yes, that scene where he's fighting in the bathroom and reloads his arms is a great scene worthy of an Oscar, but it's not the only reason why I like the movie.
Okay. So what did you think?
And speaking of what I think about Tom Cruise, which is a very important question and something I always keep saying, like, if Scientology produced Tom Cruise, how bad can Scientology be? Like, like that is he's a star for a reason. So yeah.
I mean, they definitely have some secret for like stopping people from aging, because the guy's 61 and he's jumping off bikes.
Actually,
so...
I don't know if it's a Scientology thing or just a Tom Cruise thing. Like, you know, like death is probably afraid of him. Like aging comes to him and he just says, no, not today. He says not today, like you would. So yeah.
My relationship with Mission Impossible is so I remember Mission Impossible 2, which came out in 2003, was a very formative film for me, and it's considered the worst Mission Impossible.
Really?
it's just excess from start to finish. That's the one where Tom Cruise has like really long hair and there's just lots of explosions and all of that. But I think the films have gotten gradually better as they have gone with each installment, which is very rare for a franchise. And I think for the last 4 films from Mission Impossible 4 onwards, 4 was the one where he climbed the Burj Khalifa.
4 was the one which had a scene in India and Anil Kapoor in it. Very important.
That was the 4th one.
Ghost Protocol. Yeah.
Ghost Protocol. Yes. Yeah. So I think from then on, he's stuck with a very select group of filmmakers and actors, and I think you can clearly see Tom Cruise overseeing the process of making these films. And I think each of those films from 4 onwards have had like one big stunt piece that they center the whole film around. In this one, it's the dive that he does from the bike, which happens in the climax. So before I tell you what I thought of, so my expectations were very high because, like you, I also really enjoyed
I saw you
Fallout.
Even like, you know, like on your Twitter, you were ranking the film because it clearly shows that you have like great emotional dedication to the series. It's just good. Like I personally, like if I'd caught the earlier movies in the theater, I probably would be really dedicated to it as well. But quick first thoughts about the movie, like.
So I went in with sky high expectations, and I have to say, not all of my expectations were met. I was a little let down by the film. I still think it's a very well made film, and you should
Yes.
definitely go watch it, experience it on the big screen. But I thought that it was very exposition heavy. They explained what the main conflict of the film is at separate points in the film in a very wordy, dialogue heavy way. And then those were punctuated with the big stunt pieces.
Yeah.
The film, I think, is 2 hours 48 minutes long, and
It's a
I
long
think
film for sure.
it's pretty long, and I think it has a very long running time, and except for the last 40-45 minutes where I think you're really at the edge of your seat, and the chase scene that happens, I think, in Rome, which is also the source for a lot of comedy in the film.
Mm-hmm.
I found something lacking. I thought it was not as gripping as Ghost Protocol and the last one, Fallout. I didn't find the villain convincing in this one. Like, of course,
Oh yeah,
the AI
he was
thing.
too pretty boy to be hot, like the guy. I was just like, no,
Yeah.
not convinced. Not You're not evil enough. You look like you're evil on Instagram, but not in real life. So not
So
enjoyable.
I bought the idea of this artificial intelligence, like sentient being,
Mm-hmm.
which might take over the world and cause a world war. But yeah, I mean, how is this sentient being? They keep calling it the entity throughout the
Yeah.
whole film. I almost feel like there should be a drinking game every time they say the
The
entity. You
entity.
take a shot.
Dude, did you see
Uh,
that hilarious scene where they're at a party and then it turns out the party was thrown by the AI?
by the entity. Oh my god. I feel like the two people who we are just beginning to appreciate more and more as our generation, and I'm
Uh-huh.
counting you in my generation, whether you like it or not.
No, mentally,
Shah
yes.
Rukh, Shah Rukh Khan and Tom Cruise. I
Yes,
feel like
so
people are
true.
just appreciating them, and they're just not stopping, no matter how
That
old
is
they get. Shah Rukh Khan
true.
is like I think 3 or 4 years younger than Tom Cruise, but he's
Yeah.
also not young. But the way his appreciation has grown with
Mm-hmm.
with my generation and even the younger generation, because they just have seen them as mega stars, right? They've not seen them as anything else.
What's the
Yeah.
favorite scene? The Burj Khalifa scene from Ghost Protocol? Is that your favorite?
No, so in the same film, there's this. So I freaking love it whenever they use the face masks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't care what you say, but that technology, I don't know why we're not developing that. Like, screw AI, I want that. So in Ghost Protocol, there's this whole sequence where they invade the Kremlin,
Yes, yes. Oh my
where
God, what a
yeah,
scene.
he
Oh.
uses camera trickery to make to
Yeah,
make it
yeah,
seem like the
yeah.
corridor.
Yes.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
sequence where he's disguised as a Russian official. I think that whole sequence is wonderful. Beginning of Mission Impossible 2, when Tom Cruise is
He's
literally
on that
hanging by a
ridge. Yeah,
cliff.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's hanging by the cliff, and you do that's his entry in the film. So it's
There are all
just
the
like, this is
drone
Ethan
shots,
Hunt.
etc. He's just like a little figurine and then he
Yeah,
somehow manages to
it's
climb.
like, and
Yeah.
apparently he didn't have any like, there was no
No
safety
ropes,
net
nothing.
below. He was just
Yeah,
wearing a
that's Tom
harness.
Cruise for you, man.
But
But yeah,
yeah, I
before
mean,
we wrap up, I would have to say, like, if you're on the fence about, we've talked about it, we've said good and bad things, but like, please
mm,
go watch the movie. Like, don't eat
yeah,
dinner,
yeah.
get a night show, get yourself like a nice popcorn.
There's good news for all of our international fans or international subscribers and contributors. News Laundry has a line of merch which unfortunately wasn't available for our overseas subscribers. However, we've partnered with someone who will both sell and ship the merchandise overseas. So if you're based out of India, you can go to the link in the description and you'll find the link that will redirect you to the merch for overseas shipping. And for those of you who are based in India, you can get your merch from the official News Laundry website. So check it out. It's newslaundry.com/store. All right. Now let's go to the first web series that we're covering. It's called The Trial, which is an official adaptation of the Robert King and Michelle King TV show called The Good Wife.
Mm-hmm.
This version, the Indian version, has been directed by Suparn Varma and has Kajol in the lead role. It's centered around a housewife who, after 10 years, returns to work at a law firm to support her family when her husband gets imprisoned. The Good Wife was one of my favorite shows, Nainika. Have
That's
you
just the
ever seen
plot
it?
of Aitraaz.
Is it?
Yeah, like Kareena Kapoor is a lawyer, but she gives it up for her husband, and then she's like, then he gets accused of rape, falsely accused of rape, very
All
important.
right. So wait,
So
so
she's
let me read
like,
that
yeah.
again. The Trial is an adaptation of the Abbas Mastaan super hit film called Aitraaz, starring Akshay
Absolutely.
Kumar. This is the other thing. They've actually taken the plot of a 22 episode TV show and condensed it to 8 episodes for this one. Um, so the way the Good Wife was structured was there was this overarching arc which I mentioned, that it's a housewife getting to be a lawyer and trying to get her husband out of prison. But within that, each episode they would deal with a standalone case. So each episode still had a resolution of a case that they were fighting. The good thing that they've done in the Indian version is they've not copied the cases from the American version. They've come up with original cases.
Okay.
So there is one case
Mad
which is
props
very
to
reminiscent.
them. Like mad props to
Yeah.
them for actually original
So
writing.
there is one case which is very reminiscent of the Sushant Singh Rajput case. In this
Okay.
case, it's a high-profile cricketer who passes away by suicide. And the same thing, like the press starts hounding his girlfriend and the media starts doing a character assassination. There's one TV news anchor who's very vitriolic and is spreading a lot of misinformation, which could really be any TV news anchor in India right now. So each of the episodes, they've dealt with a case which has some resonance with 2023 India. That's the thing I liked the most. Unfortunately, that's the only thing I really liked about the show. Because as compared to The Good Wife,
you said it was a 22 episode season, then it got condensed further to like 8 episodes now, which is what has been happening in the age of streaming, right? Like your earlier mid 2000s used to be 22 episodes, then it got shortened to 15, then 13, then 10, now 8, 6 even. So it's just like, they're squeezing it like really tight, and I feel like it doesn't like I'm not saying the 22 episode format is excellent, but it's just like some stories need time to unfurl, whereas some can like be squeezed in a lot lesser. And clearly, like, you can't do a honest or like true to true adaptation. So I feel like I've not watched it to be able to comment about it, but I feel like, the expectations will have to be thwarted a little for like.
Okay, at this point, we'll have to say goodbye to our video watchers on YouTube. You can check out the rest of the show in its audio form on the News Laundry website and app. And so please do that. You'll have to subscribe for that. So subscribe to News Laundry and check out the entire episode, because I know you love us.
Yes,
and
we'll be talking about
Kohrra
and past lives. So yeah, tune in.
That's right. Yeah, and also maybe the Emmy nominations.
Yes, who knows?
Yeah.
A surprise.
Who knows?
Yeah.
There's only one way to find out.
Exactly.
Check out the entire episode on News Laundry.
Bye.
Goodbye to our video watchers.
The subscription model is something that keeps News Laundry afloat, but we need hundreds of thousands of people to completely transform the news ecosystem. So you pay for news, so it serves you. So click on the link with this video, subscribe to News Laundry and pay to keep news free, और गर्व से कहो मेरे खर्च पर आजाद है खबरें.